It's time we talked about grief. Promise you'll tell me if I make a fool of myself.
No, I genuinely will tell you.
Thank you, pinky swear. Actually, that's a really bad idea. Elbow swear, long distance.
I can't reach you. There we go.
No touching. I'm making this video because it's really important for people to talk about grief. We don't talk about it a lot as a society, and we're about to be in a position where a lot of people are going to be losing people that they love for the first time, and will have no idea how to handle that. I want to preface this by saying that we're not going to talk about COVID-19, like not in the way that a lot of people are right now. As scary as it is, I don't think that we need to add to that fear. So I am not a trained psychologist. I have no formal training in this area, but I do have first-hand experience. I lost my dad when I was 20 years old. It was a complete shock to me and it sucked. But it does give me some perspective and I think the ability to help guide others. COVID-19 is super scary because not only is it a new virus, but there is no previous herd immunity. Herd immunity is what keeps death numbers from the flu really low, well, comparatively low. Every year thousands to tens of thousands of people die of the flu. With COVID-19, because there is no herd immunity, should 60% of the population get infected, we're looking at a minimum number of hundreds of thousands of deaths. Obviously, the story is changing really fast. What I just said could be completely wrong in 2 weeks' time. Check the numbers for yourself. Do your own research. It's still going to be a pretty big number. I believe in you. Grief is a really difficult emotion to deal with because it's like no other emotion you can experience. It knocks you down again and again and again, and you just have to learn to pick yourself up and keep going. What's amazing is that humans are incredibly resilient, and we're absolutely capable of taking that blow. It's really hard, I'm not gonna lie, it's so hard, but it's possible, and we can do it, and we do it every day. When it comes to dealing with grief, talking to your loved ones is so important because it gives you the chance to discuss anything that you might want to talk about before you lose the chance to discuss it with them. You get a chance to go through all of the emotional side and all of the practical side at once if you can. And it's a really, really hard conversation to have. You might be so scared of making your loved one afraid, of insinuating that your loved one's going to die when they very easily could not. But at the end of the day, the worst case scenario is that you're more prepared for the end. And the best case scenario is that you've now unpacked all of this stuff and can go on living your life with a healthier, stronger relationship with your loved one. With my family, what that really means is discussing happiness a lot and how secure we feel in the family and how much we love each other. And that's what we need to do. But it's going to be different for everyone and every family. One thing that can help process grief is locking away memories. Locking away memories is a technique that you can use to help mitigate the grief as it's coming on. What this involves is finding a toy or an object or any kind of photograph that reminds you of a wonderful time you had with your family member or loved one. And anytime you're sad or afraid or scared, you look at that object or picture, and instead of feeling the sadness and fear, what you have to do is try and replace that with the memory of how happy you were in that moment. I've done this with a little toy train that I picked off of my father's bedside table. My mom and I made this for my dad when I was about 8, and it made him so happy. He kept it on his bedside table for 10 years afterwards. And when I look at this train, I could feel really sad about the fact that my dad can't play trains with me anymore and isn't here anymore. Or I can be really happy and remember how much he loved it. After you've lost someone, you might be in a bit of a daze for a bit. There's nothing on earth that can prepare you for that feeling. But the good news is that you will piece yourself back together. It will take time, it will take routines, and it will be so hard. But you will do it, and it will be okay. By far the most useful tool in your arsenal is communication. I know that by nature we don't love to talk about our feelings with people, but it's so important. Cry, scream, do whatever you have to do. Process that emotion, keep a diary, write everything you're feeling. Let the emotion wash over you in waves. The waves will get smaller and eventually they'll just be lapping on the shore. Occasionally a rogue wave will still knock you down, but you'll learn to get back on your feet. The British Psychological Society actually says this. Research has recognized that in order to grieve in a healthy way, we need to both spend time in grieving for the person and somehow continue to live and function. If a person spends all of their time grieving and not engaging in life, or all their time pushing the grief away, neither position enables them to move forward and recover. So a question some of you might have is, what do I do if one of my friends has lost a loved one? How can I help? The second most hurtful part of grief is losing your friends. You've already lost someone, you already feel alone, and suddenly your friends aren't even talking to you either, and you have no idea why. So just be there. I know that's really scary. You might not want to be there through all the pain. Nothing you can say is going to make them hurt any worse than they already are. Maybe stay away from insulting people, but you can go back to that after a while. This year is going to be really difficult, and it's going to be really scary and really sad. And the only thing that we can do is love each other and wash our hands a lot. Always, always remember that this will eventually be over. It will end, and we will be okay. Feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to talk to any of you. I'm putting some links to the Samaritans and various mental health resources in the description for anyone that might need them. Stay safe, guys, and stay healthy. I feel weird. My trash can's over there. It should be over here.
Oh,
like,
no.
everything's off balance. Ah.